Hello, ciao, bonjour, hello, and привет. I'm Samantha Cristoforetti, Italian ESA astronaut on board of the International Space Station.
Hello, language learners. This is the Spoken English Code, where we learn to understand spoken English. I was recently speaking about astronomy with a student of mine here in Italy, and he suggested that I create a video lesson with Italian astronaut Samantha Cristoforetti. Not only was she the first Italian woman in space, but she broke the record at the time for the longest single space flight by a woman. She is a national hero in Italy and a great role model for anyone interested in science, especially for young girls. As a science fiction nerd, I also love that she dressed in a Star Trek Voyager uniform, similar to Captain Janeway, when the Dragon capsule arrived to the space station with the first space espresso machine. We will learn some new vocabulary from her as she speaks about humans in space. If you want to watch the full video without interruptions, it's in the description below. Let's listen.
I think there is a sense of destiny in this whole idea of space exploration, right?
Destiny.
Destiny.
Destiny is the force that some people believe controls what will happen in the future. It's similar to the word fate. Fate. But we tend to use fate when something is negative. When you believe something is pre-planned for your life that you cannot change. Destiny is typically more positive in feeling. There's an element of choice in destiny. You can try to shape your destiny or change your destiny. So destiny is what you are meant to do. You just have to do it. In reality, people often mix the two, but we could have a long discussion if they are really the same thing or not.
I think there is a sense of destiny in this whole idea of space exploration, right? I mean, if you ask anybody, imagine humanity in 500 years.
I mean, are very frequent fillers. Humanity.
Humanity.
Humanity. She uses this word often in the interview.
Humanity.
Humanity means the human race in general. All of the humans on the planet in the past, today, and in the future. Humanity.
If you ask anybody, imagine humanity in 500 years. Do you imagine humanity being still earthbound?
Earthbound is an adjective. It means to be restricted to the earth, connected to planet Earth. Do you know the verb to bind? To fasten two things together, typically with rope. For example, you can bind someone's hands together. The past of bind is bound. It's an irregular verb. The adjective is also bound. If you are earthbound, you are connected to the earth and cannot move to space.
Do you imagine humanity being still earthbound? Like we still are not able to go anywhere else? I mean, I think we all intuitively, spontaneously imagine humanity as being able to travel in space.
Intuitively means instinctively, without thinking about it. Intuitively.
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 Intuitively, spontaneously imagine humanity as being able to travel in space, travel to the moon, travel to Mars, travel to asteroids, live there, exploit resources, go on vacation.
Mars is the fourth planet from our sun, our neighbor, the red planet. Pop quiz. The planet Mars is named after A, the Greek god of war, or B, the Roman god of war. B, the Roman god of war.
Travel to the moon, travel to Mars, travel to asteroids.
Asteroids are small rocky bodies that are orbiting the sun. To exploit resources means to use resources, to take something and make full use of it. In this case, to take water, minerals, and so on.
Travel to the moon, travel to Mars, travel to asteroids, live there, exploit resources, go on vacation, whatever, do all the things that human beings like to do once they have conquered, let's say, a place.
To conquer means to take control of, typically with force. That's why she uses air quotes when she uses the word conquer. She is a scientist and an astronaut, and even if she is a former military pilot, she is a little careful when using the word conquer. These things are quotation marks. When we do this with our hands, we call these air quotes. Air quotes. English has a name for everything. Do you have a name for air quotes in your language? Great example of filler, as she thinks.
To me, it's being part of the first step towards that future.
We often speak of steps when describing a process. We take many steps as we move towards, in the direction of, our goal, our target.
The first step towards that future that is so obviously part of what's coming for humanity.
Notice these little repetitions. This is another type of filler that happens in spoken language when we are thinking. Spoken language is dirty like that.
That is so obviously part of what's coming for humanity. And really, one other thing I like to say is that...
Oh, she is such a good speaker, but here we have a little mistake. One other thing I'd like to say about that. Not of that, but about that. As always, who cares about this? I don't care. But I think it's good that you see that even extremely fluent speakers make little mistakes from time to time.
It's very long term, and it's difficult. As human beings, we have a little lifespan of like 70 years, whatever, 70, 80, 100.
The lifespan is the length of time that a person or animal lives. It's also used for how long something functions or works. For example, the average lifespan of a smartphone is about 2.5 years. If you don't drop it. Pop quiz. What is the average lifespan of a Vulcan from Star Trek? A, 200 years, B, 250 years, or C, 300 years? The correct answer is A, 200 years.
But, if you try and expand to a bigger time scale and think of humanity's presence on Earth, it is dangerous to live only on one planet.
Cristoforetti uses Italian word order with the word only here. Only normally goes in front of the verb in English, not after it. So, it is dangerous to only live on one planet. This is not important. Not at all. But if you are taking one of those language tests where they like to test you on unimportant little things like this, remember that only normally comes before a verb. As far as speaking goes, don't worry about this. Communication first. Always.
It is dangerous to live only on one planet. So, one day when that big asteroid comes or whatever.
She is speaking about a global catastrophic risk, a future event which can destroy humanity on a global scale. This is also known as an existential risk. Existential risk. If you want to learn more about these end-of-world events, do a Google search for existential risk. You will find a lot of interesting videos and articles.
So, one day when that big asteroid comes or whatever, we're going to be happy that we have learned, starting today.
She reduced going to gonna. Did you notice that?
We're going to be happy.
Gonna be happy.
We're going to be happy.
Gonna be happy.
We're going to be happy that we have learned, starting today, how to travel to other places.
For more English listening exercise, click on one of these videos here. This mission is accomplished.